Nicolas Sébastien Anelka is a French footballer. Prior to his retirement from international football, Anelka was also a regular member of the French national team. Former Chelsea manager Carlo Ancelotti has described him as a quick player with good aerial ability, technique, shooting, and movement off the ball. Anelka began his career at Paris Saint-Germain, but soon moved to Arsenal. He became a first-team regular and won the PFA Young Player of the Year award the following season. Real Madrid signed him for a £22.3 million in 1999, but he did not settle in well and returned to Paris Saint-Germain in a £20 million deal. Despite regular first-team football in Paris, Anelka set his eyes upon the Premier League once more. He went on loan to Liverpool in January 2002 but joined Manchester City for a £13 million at the start of the 2002-03 season. After 3 seasons in Manchester, he moved to Fenerbahçe Section E for 2 seasons before returning to England to join Bolton Wanderers in deals worth a £7 million and a £8 million, respectively. He transferred to Chelsea from Bolton for a reported a £15 million in January 2008. During his transfers over the years, he has built an aggregate transfer cost of just under a £90 million. On December 12, 2011, Shanghai Shenhua announced that they had reached an agreement with Anelka to join the team in the winter transfer window. After 1 season there, Anelka joined Italian side Juventus on a 6-month loan deal in 2013, after which he was released from Shanghai and signed for West Bromwich Albion on a free transfer. Anelka has played 69 times at international level and won his first international honours with France at Euro 2000, and won the Confederations Cup the following year. His failure to settle at club level limited his international appearances, but he returned to the national team for the Euro 2008 competition. On June 19, 2010, Anelka was excluded by the French Football Federation from the 2010 World Cup in South Africa for comments directed against the national coach, Raymond Domenech, unacceptable to the FFF, French football, and the principles they uphold. 2 months later, having failed to turn up to his disciplinary hearing, he was banned for France's next 18 games by the FFF, effectively ending his international career. Anelka is also known for his controversial relationship with French comedian Dieudonné copyright Mbla and notably attracted widespread condemnation after performing a hand gesture called the quenelle, created by the latter and regarded by some as anti-Semitic, on the pitch when playing for West Bromwich Albion in 2013. Anelka has responded that the gesture is anti-establishment, not anti-Semitic. An FA disciplinary hearing banned Anelka for 5 games, but found that he was not anti-Semitic, and had not intended the gesture to express or promote anti-Semitism. After West Bromwich Albion suspended him pending their own investigation, Anelka was given notice of termination of his contract by the club due to the club and player being unable to come to terms over the conditions required for the suspension by the club to be lifted, and comments made by the player on Twitter. Personal life: Anelka was born in 1979 in Lichtenay, Yvelines, to parents who had migrated from Martinique in 1974. Thereafter they settled in Trappes, near Paris. His mother is a secretary in the local high school. Anelka is married to Barbara Tauzier, a Belgian choreographer. Together, they have 2 sons, Kees born in 2008 and Cahill born in 2010. He acted in the 2002 film La Boulette as a footballer named Nicolas. He has stated that, when he retires from football, he would like to work in the film industry because he has a friend in the business. He said, "I have a friend who's a producer, who makes lots of films. He recently did Asta copyright Rix. So it's already agreed that I'm going to do other films. It helps to know actors and producers. It's different to football and it's something I enjoy very much because there's no ball. I like pretending to be somebody else, it's fun." Anelka has 2 brothers, Claude and Didier. After discussing religion with some childhood friends, Anelka converted to Islam in 2004 in the United Arab Emirates, taking the Muslim name of Abdul Salam Bilal. Anelka has said that he initially fasted during daylight hours as is required for the Muslim month of Ramadan, but I realized I often got injured just after the period of Ramadan, so I don't observe it strictly anymore. Initially, Anelka considered leaving European football to play in the UAE. I am ready to stay here and to play for a club in the Emirates. I am not keen to go back to England or France. However, this did not come to pass and he briefly moved to Turkey instead, as well as 3 more English clubs. Club career, Paris Saint-Germain. Anelka started his career at Paris Saint-Germain as a youth player at age 16 and was said to have great potential for scoring goals. Arsenal. In February 1997, at the age of 17, Anelka joined Premier League club Arsenal for a fee of £500,000 under newly appointed manager Arsene Wenger. His first team opportunities were limited in the 1996 Euro 97 season, but in the 1997 Euro 98 season, he broke into the first team, after a long-term injury to striker Ian Wright. In November 1997, Anelka scored his first goal for Arsenal in a 3-2 home win against Manchester United. Anelka was a key player in Arsenal's double win, of both the Premier League and FA Cup that season. Anelka scored the second goal in Arsenal's 2-0 win over Newcastle United in that season's FA Cup final. Anelka was Arsenal's top scorer in the 1998 Euro 99 season with 17 Premier League goals. This form saw him voted the PFA Young Player of the Year, but Arsenal failed to defend their Premier League and FA Cup titles and made little progress in the UEFA Champions League. Fans turned on the striker amid transfer speculation and a perceived lack of enthusiasm, giving him the nickname Le Sulk. During the close season, Anelka stated a desire to leave Arsenal, claiming the British press was responsible for his unhappiness in England. On August 2, 1999, Anelka joined Real Madrid. In all he made 90 appearances for Arsenal, scoring 28 goals. Real Madrid. Anelka transferred to Real Madrid in the summer of 1999 for a £22.3 a million. Anelka began brightly, arriving as a record signing to the Madrid side. He had initial success, but soon fell out of favour with fans, fellow players, and new coach Vicente Del Bosque, at one point receiving a 45-day suspension for refusing to train. He eventually returned to favour and figured in the successful 1999-00 Champions League campaign, scoring vital goals in both legs of the semi-finals against Bayern Munich and starting in the final. Returned to Paris Saint-Germain, Anelka signed a professional contract at Paris Saint-Germain, a return to the club at which he used to play as a youth player, in a transfer deal worth £22 a million. Once again Anelka developed issues with the team coach, Luis Fernandez, and became unsettled despite good form on the pitch. Liverpool. After 30 months, Anelka returned to the Premier League in December 2001 with Liverpool on a short-term loan deal until the end of the season. He contributed to Liverpool's late push to come second in the league, scoring goals against Everton, Fulham, Blackburn Rovers, Ipswich Town, and in the FA Cup against Birmingham City, but manager copyright Rad Houlier decided not to offer him a permanent deal after the end of the season in favour of signing Senegalese forward El Hadji Diouf. Manchester City. Anelka opted to join Manchester City on May 24, 2002, and the £13 a million fee paid by manager Kevin Keegan was then a club record. In his first season at City, Anelka was the club's top scorer with 14 goals, including a goal in the last-ever Manchester derby at Main Road, against former club Arsenal, and a last-minute winner at Anfield after scoring a penalty just moments earlier. In his second season at City he finished top scorer again, in the club's first season at the City of Manchester Stadium, with 25 goals. On October 16, 2004, Anelka won and scored a penalty against Chelsea, which led to Jose Copyright Mourinho's first defeat as Chelsea manager. Fenerbahçe Section E. In January 2005, Manchester City announced that Anelka had completed a £7 a million transfer to Turkish team Fenerbahçe Section E. Anelka helped the Turkish club win the league title in 2005, and played with them in the UEFA Cup that season, and the UEFA Champions League the next. Bolton Wanderers. On August 25, 2006, Bolton Wanderers signed Anelka on a 4-year deal for a club record of £8 a million. Anelka made his debut for Bolton against Watford on September 9, 2006. He opened his account on September 19 in a League Cup game with Walsall, scoring the last goal of a 3-1 away win. After 11 matches without a goal in the Premier League, he scored his first goals, a brace on November 25, to beat Arsenal 3-1. He finished the 2006-07 season as Bolton's top scorer with 10 goals. During January 2007, Anelka stated that he would be willing to leave Bolton for a return to former club Arsenal. However, Anelka pledged his future to Bolton in July 2007, following talks with manager Sammy Lee. Anelka later said he would reluctantly consider leaving the club if Bolton's poor start to the 2007-08 season continued, but later signed a new 4-year contract until 2011 on August 30. Chelsea. On January 11, 2008, it was confirmed that Anelka would join Chelsea for £15 a million. Anelka made his copyright but against Tottenham Hotspur on January 12, 2008, and scored his first goal 2 weeks later in the FA Cup against Wigan Athletic. He scored his first league goal on February 2 against Portsmouth, but failed to score again for Chelsea during the 2007-08 season. In the 2008 UEFA Champions League final, Anelka delivered Chelsea's 7th penalty, which was saved by Edwin van der Sar, resulting in Manchester United winning the Champions League. Anelka later blamed manager Evan Grant for his penalty miss, claiming Grant brought him on to play as a late substitute without a proper warm-up beforehand and also too late in the game to acclimatise himself in it. On August 3, 2008, Anelka scored 4 goals in a 5-0 friendly win against AC Milan. With Didier Drogba injured at the beginning of the 2008-09 season, Anelka made a very impressive start to the campaign. He scored 25 times Euro 19 of which in the Premier League, making the Frenchman the first player to reach 10 goals in the competition that season. For this, he was awarded with a Golden Boot award on November 14, 2008 and was in the running for the end-of-season Golden Boot accolade. Anelka scored his first competitive hat-trick for Chelsea against Sunderland, in a 5-0 home win on November 1, 2008, and followed this up with 2 braces against Blackburn Rovers, then West Bromwich Albion. He established himself as an important member of the squad and maintained his place in the team despite the return to fitness of Drogba. After the arrival of GUUS Hiddink, Anelka was more often played on the wing. Furthermore, he was ranked among the top goal scorers in the league for the season. He scored another hat-trick against Watford in the FA Cup to earn Chelsea a 3-1 victory at Vicarage Road. On May 10, he scored 1 goal and set up another in a 4-1 away win against former club Arsenal. A goal in Chelsea's final Premier League game of the season at Sunderland put him as top goal scorer for the season in the Premier League, earning him the Golden Boot with 19 goals in total. Anelka scored his first goal of the 2009 Euro 10 season against West London rivals Fulham in a 2-0 win at Craven Cottage, before continuing his fine form with the opening goal in Chelsea's 3-0 win over Burnley the following weekend. He netted his 3rd goal of the season in the opening game of the UEFA Champions League group stage in the 1-0 victory over FC Porto. Anelka scored one of the best goals of his season against Apoel Nicosia in the Champions League with the ball being passed in the net from outside the box. Anelka scored his 3rd league goal of the season against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge in a 2-0 win with the 2nd goal coming from French teammate Florent Malauda. Anelka continued his fine scoring run in the Champions League with the winner in the 1-0 victory over Porto at the Estadio Dragão, making Chelsea only the 2nd ever English side to win at Porto's home ground. He continued his scoring in the season by scoring Chelsea's first goal in a 3-3 draw against Everton in the Premier League, his first goal in the competition since October. He followed that up with another goal in Chelsea's 2-1 victory over Portsmouth. On January 16, 2010 on his return from injury, Anelka scored twice in an astonishing 7-2 victory over Sunderland. He continued this fine form into the next match, scoring in an FA Cup tie against Preston North End, bringing his tally in the previous 4 matches to 5 goals. Talks over his contract have stalled, leading to rumours of yet another move to another club. After the return of Drogba from the African Cup of Nations, Anelka had been playing on the wing to support him. Anelka scored his first goal since January in a 1-0 win over his old team Bolton Wanderers in April 2010, putting Chelsea 4 points ahead of second-place Manchester United. On the final day of the season, Anelka scored 2 goals against Wigan Athletic, including the first Chelsea goal in the 6th minute, to help Chelsea win their 3rd Premier League title and their first in 4 years. Anelka joined Henning Berg in the exclusive band of players who have won the Premier League title with 2 different clubs. On June 24, 2010, Chelsea Football Club announced that Anelka had signed a new 1-year extension to his existing contract that will keep him at the club until 2012. Anelka started the 2010 Euro 11 campaign in fine form for Chelsea. He assisted Florent Malauda's last goal against West Bromwich Albion on the opening day of the season, scored a double in the next game against Wigan Athletic, and won a penalty against Stoke City in Chelsea's 3rd game of the season. He continued this fine form in Chelsea's first Champions League game, scoring a first-half brace against Marseille Angstrom 1/2 Illinois. Further goals against Marseille and Spartak Moscow ensured that this was the first season since playing for Paris Saint-Germain that he had scored at least 4 goals in a UEFA Champions League season. On October 19, during Chelsea's Champions League group stage match against Spartak Moscow, Anelka continued his impressive goal-scoring form in the Champions League, scoring the 2nd goal of the match and his 50th goal for Chelsea in the 43rd minute of the game. He ended the 2010 Euro 11 season with 16 goals from 45 appearances in all competitions. Anelka scored Chelsea's first goal of the 2011 Euro 12 season against West Bromwich Albion in a 2-1 victory. However, this would prove to be Anelka's final goal for Chelsea, as he failed to find the net in 14 further appearances in 2011. On December 3, 2011, after Chelsea's 3-0 victory against Newcastle United, manager @nɛl.ka Villas-Boas confirmed to the media that Anelka along with Alex had submitted transfer requests to the club and would be free to leave Chelsea in January. On December 12, Chelsea confirmed that Anelka would head to the Chinese club Shanghai Shenhua. It was rumoured that his salary would be as high as £175,000 a week. After being transfer listed, Anelka revealed that Villas-Boas banned him from using the first-team car park, forced to use separate changing rooms and made to train with the youth team. He said, "Ever since I was punished they put me with the youngsters. Euro unregistered trademark, they got all the kit and equipment that professionals have, but they put me in a separate changing room. Euro unregistered trademark S football for you." Su Jun, owner of Shanghai Shenhua, confirmed that they had sealed a deal with Anelka in his Weibo on December 12. The official websites of Shanghai Shenhua and Chelsea also confirmed this transfer later on the same day. Shanghai Shenhua. On January 1, 2012, Anelka moved to the Chinese club Shanghai Shenhua. His annual salary at Shanghai Shenhua was reported to be around $12 million. Following his move to the club, Anelka revealed that he turned down the chance to join his former club Paris Saint-Germain the previous month in favour of signing for Shanghai Shenhua, and explained that his move was because he did not have attractive offers to remain within Europe. On February 21, 2012, Anelka scored a debut goal in a pre-season friendly match against Union Billows, just 40 seconds after the start of the game. Anelka failed to make his Chinese Super League debut due to ankle injury on the opening league game of the season against Jiangsu Sainty. He eventually made his CSL debut and scored his first CSL goal on March 16, 2012, in a 3-2 away defeat against bitter rivals Beijing Guoan. On April 11, 2012, Anelka was named as part of the coaching staff to help struggling manager Jean Tigana. On June 19, 2012, it was confirmed that Anelka's former Chelsea teammate Didier Drogba would join Shanghai Shenhua. On June 7, 2012, it was claimed that Anelka was keen on a move back to the Premier League after he was involved in a heated exchange with a fan for refusing to bow in front of the travelling Shenhua fans with his fellow teammates. Anelka provided 2 assists for Drogba and headed in a late equaliser to earn Shenhua a point in a 3-3 draw with Shandong Luneng on August 25. Juventus. On January 26, 2013, Anelka joined Italian side Juventus on a 5-month loan deal. He made his debut for Juventus against Celtic in the Champions League. Anelka made 2 further appearances for Juventus, both in Serie A, as the club won the league title. West Bromwich Albion. On July 4, 2013, Anelka joined West Bromwich Albion on a free transfer after being released by Shanghai Shenhua, marking another return to the Premier League, the 6th Premier League club he has played for in his career. He said that he would like to end his career in England, at West Bromwich Albion. On August 22, 2013, Anelka reportedly walked out of a training session telling staff that he was leaving the club to retire. The reports were quickly denied by the club, which confirmed that Anelka would miss 1 game and that he had left the session early on compassionate grounds following the death of his agent. On August 28, 2013, it was announced that since completing his week of compassionate leave, Anelka had decided to remain with the club and would begin training the following day in preparation for West Brom's forthcoming match against Swansea City. He subsequently returned full-time to the team. He scored his first goal for the club in a 3-3 draw with West Ham United on December 28, 2013, scoring a first-half brace in his first appearance in over 2 months. Upon scoring, he performed a quenelle, a hand gesture popularized by his comedian friend Dieudonné copyright and described by Jewish groups as an inverted Nazi salute. The FA and anti-racism organizations investigated the incident following allegations of anti-Semitism. On February 27, 2014, an FA disciplinary hearing banned Anelka for 5 matches, fined him £80,000 and ordered him to complete an educational course. The hearing also stated, "We did not find that Nicolas Anelka is an anti-Semite or that he intended to express or promote anti-Semitism by his use of the quenelle." Anelka and the FA both decided not to appeal this verdict. Anelka used social media to announce he was terminating his contract with West Brom. West Bromwich Albion responded that Anelka had given the club no official notification of his intention to leave, and later gave him 14 days' notice of termination from the club for gross misconduct. International career. At youth level, Anelka played for the French under-20 team at the 1997 World Youth Championship, and made his senior team debut for France in a goalless draw with Sweden on April 22, 1998. Anelka was not selected for the 1998 World Cup winning squad but quickly became France's first-choice centre-forward during the Euro 2000 qualifying campaign, scoring the opening goal in France's 3-2 win over Russia on his first international start and scoring both goals in a comfortable 2-0 win over England at Wembley in February 1999. Anelka made his first appearance in a major tournament at Euro 2000. France went on to win the competition. He also formed part of the squad which won the 2001 FIFA Confederations Cup. Despite a promising start, Anelka lost his place in the national team from 2001 to Euro 2007 as he was not playing much first-team football at club level, mainly because he was frequently transferred between clubs. When striker Djibril Cissé copyright was forced out of 2006 World Cup due to injury, Olympique Lyonnais striker Sidney Govou was called up as Cissé copyright's replacement rather than Anelka, who described the decision as a real shame. "I was completely available and ready to play in this World Cup. I think I could have helped France." Anelka came on as a substitute in the Euro 2008 qualifier against Lithuania on March 24, 2007, and scored the only goal in a 1-0 victory. Following his performance, Anelka was praised by Raymond Domenech, "It is the Nicolas I like to see. When he shows these qualities, he is a candidate for a permanent place." He also scored in the 2-0 victory against Ukraine on June 2, 2007. Anelka featured in the France squad for Euro 2008 in Austria and Switzerland. Anelka started France's first group game against Romania, but was substituted after 72 minutes. He did not start either of France's remaining 2 games in the tournament against the Netherlands and Italy, coming on as a substitute in both games. Anelka played a key role in France's FIFA World Cup playoff against the Republic of Ireland. He scored the winning goal in the 72nd minute that put France in a good position with one away goal. During the 2010 World Cup, Anelka was sent home after reportedly abusing coach Raymond Domenech at halftime during the 2-0 defeat to Mexico. Following criticism of his positioning by Domenech, Anelka is reported to have said, "Varti ferenkula, sale fills depute meaning go fuck yourself, dirty son of a whore." The incident was later reported by the media, and the player refused to publicly apologize when asked to by French Football Federation President Jean-Pierre Escalets. The next day, the squad refused to get to training in protest against Anelka's expulsion. Anelka was subsequently hit by an 18-game suspension from international football by the FFF as punishment for his actions, effectively ending his international career. Anelka later claimed to be dying with laughter at the 18-match ban, as he had already decided to retire from international play. International goals, scores and results list France's goal tally first, career statistics, club, as of December 28, 2013, international, as of June 17, 2010. Note. Honors, notes, includes Trophée copyrighted as Champions, UEFA Super Cup, Community Shield, Supercoppa d'Espoir plus or minus a, FIFA Club World Cup, ZAR 1/4 per Kipper, Chinese Super Cup and Supercoppa Italiana. References. External links, Nicolas Anelka Career Stats at Soxabase, Nicolas Anelka Euro FIFA Competition Record, Nicolas Anelka Euro UEFA Competition Record, Premier League Profile, Anelka Nicolas Far Copyright DAO Copyright Russian Section de Football.